Man, seems like independent women do the most complaining.
When men do what they're supposed to do.
Why every man gotta be a yes dear ass?
Hey, come on, you guys.
You are ignorant. I'm protesting.
Are your dreams, huh?
Hip Hop News, in the building for a very special edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Because live in studio, we have CEO, founder, creator of Pure Blend Clothing right here in Southern, New Jersey, Pleasantville, proudly. We got the good brother BJ on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. What's up? What's up?
Happy to have you on, man. A pleasure to have you in the building, live in studio. On the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, it's beautiful afternoon, man. So my cousin set this up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. We have a scheduler that sets up our appointments and stuff, and we usually throw names in the box on who we want on the show. You threw your name in there. You were so gracious enough to come on. So we appreciate you. Introduce yourself, if you don't mind, to the people who may not know you globally that may be watching right now.
Again, like the brother said, BJ Burch, Pleasantville, New Jersey native, owner, operator, founder of Pure Blend Apparel.
Indeed.
That's what's up. So, I mean, take us a little bit, take us back. Obviously, you grew up in Pleasantville, if I'm not mistaken. Take us back to your early upbringing. I know you, I used to go to Pleasantville High School. So I seen that you coached football, and did a whole bunch of other things helping the community. So take us back to your upbringing in Pleasantville, New Jersey.
So I'm going back some years.
Yeah.
My age, but born, educated, raised in Pleasantville, New Jersey as a youth. Regular childhood. I like to lean back on. I was born in the 70s, so I got a taste of that whole 80s, that whole decade. So that was a very interesting decade. It was a powerful decade, I think, for our culture.
Right.
Some of the experiences as a youth, one of my main things was sports. Played every sport, stayed active, and that's one of the things that led me through. Staying out of trouble. I always was in sports. Things like that.
How, we often hear stories about how things were back in the time, 60s, 70s, around the nation, but never do we hear how it was in somewhere close to where we were, Atlantic City, Pleasantville, EHT, wherever the case may be around here locally. How was it during those times in Pleasantville during the 80s and the 70s? Because we all know how it was growing up. We were born in the 80s, and so we grew up in the 90s, 2000s, et cetera. So how was it back then in the 70s? How was the relationship with the police? How was the relationship with the community? How was the relationship with us in general?
So going back to the pre-social media days and cell phones and things like that. And, when you're a kid, you're not really understanding the struggle you're in. Yeah. You're appreciating things you have. I think back then, families were more family-oriented. And we growing up in Pleasantville wasn't, we made fun. We had to be active. We had to be adventurous. We had to be have an imagination. So as far as the kids, you just kind of made your way, and you got cool with different people from different sides of town through sports. That was my main thing. My main thing, even to this day, I still have relationships from sports. Within Pleasantville, from Last City, Down Beach kids that I played sports against all the way out inland. That was my main thing, and being known at the early age, playing a lot of sports. But within the town, it was just, we appreciated what we had. We appreciated what we had, and we made the best of it. We ain't never looked down on ourselves. We felt we always had a chip on our shoulder because. We went hard. Hard. I just think we always had to go hard because of various reasons. So whatever, we always went hard. That's what we was known for. That's what I would think we was known for.
Right. What's the difference now? The kids we grew up back then to the kids that grew up now. What's the main difference that you see working in the school system with the kids, or is there much of a difference?
I think one thing that I like to express to the students or kids in general, and youth in general, is respect. I think we had respect. It's, you hear that growing up, you say, it used to be like this back in the day. So now I'm at that age where we had respect. It didn't have to be someone that was related to us. If it was somebody that looked like us, if it was a female, it was somebody's mom, somebody's grandma, we had respect. And not to say that we were innocent and didn't do anything, but we had respect, and we had respect for ourselves and our family, and things was a little more I want to say it just it was a way you went about things. So now I think with the social media and things like that with students, kids in general, youth in general, like less filters in life.
Yeah.
Less filters in life. They need to have filters in life.
You talked about athletics a lot. We grew up on athletics and carry relationships to this day because of athletics that we had through our life in various where we lived in various cities and things like that. Talk about the difference between athletics then and athletics now. Because of the social media age, do you see more children or more students or athletes going out there to do sports now, or is it a little bit of a decline on that?
What I see now is students are specializing in sports. They'll lock in early with one sport. We didn't lock in until later in high school where we kind of, this is my sport. We played everything. I played basketball, football, baseball, ran a little track. Now, I think with social media and things that parents are pushing or allowing students to lock in early. We stay active all year, but we went by the seasons. Now you have basketball 365 days.
Yeah.
We went by seasons, so we kind of met new people during the season if you played a lot of sports. So that's one thing. And we kind of learned a lot of things on our own outside. We had to go outside. We didn't have a cell phone to sit in the house and look at for 12 hours in a day. Or the video games wasn't as intricate as it is now. So we went outside. We went from one side of town to the next, walking, riding a bike, setting up football games, setting up basketball games. Yeah. You know, just being adventurous. So that was our training. That walking and that riding up and downtown, that was our training. Whereas now kids have personal training. You know, they focus and it's better for it athletically. But I think we had to. It was appreciated what we learned and we earned it.
Yeah,
definitely. So talk about your aspiration. At what point? I think 2011. You know, you started Pure Blend clothing line. Did you think about it before, or what made you jump into that?
I think I'm gonna go back to my youth.
Okay.
Again, when I say the '80s, I think it was, if you look for our music, our culture, our fashion, the '80s made it. The '80s was really just growing up as a teen, you know, a preteen and a teen. I think the fashion, the '80s was all about fashion. It was all about new things. A lot of things were, I think, created in the '80s. You got your Dapper Dans that just changed urban fashion all around. And I seen this as a youth, and I was been into sneakers and clothes and things like that. Did a little artwork when I was younger, but the sports took over. So the fashion or in business sense started as a youth. I was always interested in how things were made, why they was made, why were they were discontinued, or how things came about, or why, you know, you can get certain things in certain regions and things like that. So I always had an interest in that, and interest in business.
So how did you come up with the name Pure Blend? How did you know that was going to be the stamp in the brand for you?
The name is if the meaning of the name kind of describes, I think it describes me, describes all of us. Just coming up, Pleasantville, meeting people from different towns, cities, playing ball, being able to go off to school, play ball. Even the guys I grew up with that maybe didn't continue to play sports, they went in every different direction. So when I break down the name first is pure, so that's perfect. And I'm saying nobody's perfect. The blend is a mix. I'm saying everybody's a perfect mix. So always tell a story. Me and my brother, 2.5 years apart, but we're not the same person. Same house, flipping head in the same bed, but we're not the same person. I couldn't never be him, and he couldn't never be me. We got the same thing. Yeah. We got the same upbringing. We was a lot of the same whatever from our mother. So I'm saying everybody's a perfect mix. So the Pure Blend, that's the stamp on it.
Dope. Right. So you got your clothing brand, like everybody's wearing it. Like anywhere you go, football games, any event, you see the Pure Blend. And I always known you from school, but I was like, yo, I was coming across something. I seen your clothing line again. I'm like, man, we got to get him in for an interview, man. I really want this thing to blow up because it's great quality clothing. Yeah. And it's dope, the colorways and everything. So the first time breaking into the clothing industry, take us back to that. And how was it like, and how is it now, being as though you've been in it for almost 10 years or more now?
So the first day, it was the summer of 2011. And going back to my youth, talking about sports, I've always been in the sports. So since 7 years old, I was always in the organized sport. So all through youth, high school, went off to college. I was fortunate enough to play football in college. Came back, no summers off. Came back, went right into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So assistant coach at that time. So no summers off. Always was in the sports season, weight room, football, things like that. So I stopped coaching, stepped back from coaching 2011 season. So summer 2011, was my first season or my first summer to myself.
Okay.
I had no obligation for a team or for kids and things like that. And it was like, what's my next move? Because I've always been busy, stay busy, stay out of trouble.
Right.
So what's my next move? And I was just thinking on it that whole summer. So July, I was just kind of thinking deeply on it. So came like August 1st, I want to do a T-shirt. It just Pure Blend started with a T-shirt.
Wow.
I want a T-shirt. I said, and then came up with the idea, kind of knew my colorways, and talked to some people. I'm like, I'm just going to give it away. I'm going to make 36 T-shirts and give them away. That was my first initial thought. People, you sell it. People buy, they like your style, things like that. And those first 36 T-shirts went. I'm like, I got something. It was organic.
Now we try to dabble into the apparel game and all that third party. It's so you don't get to where you at right now just overnight. The quality of clothing, you know what I mean. The style of clothing, the colorways, from top to bottom, you got quality and quantity. How did you get into these manufacturers and get the blends how you want? Because it's not something that you could just click online about. How did you get into that level?
It's trial and error. It's work. But you have to have a passion for it. We work with the youth, so I work with the youth. You got to find something you have a passion for. It's really, and you guys got to, with things you're doing here, great things. You have a passion for it.
Yeah.
It's not something you're just doing it. The money's gonna come. Money's easy. The hard thing is hold on to money.
Yeah.
So you gotta have someone with a passion. I'm always thinking. I'm always building. I'm always thinking. I'm always studying and researching. And it's trial and error sometimes. And the internet, I always tell the kids, like that's your friend. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. So it's something on there. You can research or reach out and things like that. So it's really just work. Everything is work.
What's been the hardest part thus far, or the most struggles that you had, developing your clothing brand?
I say the struggles is I was born and raised here, went off to college in Washington, D.C. So I have some, and it was a national school. So I have people all over the United States.
Gotcha.
So I send it to a lot of states.
Mm-hmm.
It always comes back. Oh, I was on vacation. Somebody liked this. I'm like, well, send them to the website. Like,
yeah.
So the thing is, I'm sent it out, but to accumulate those new customers, those ones with no, is just because everybody's saying it's hot.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the thing. I just think customer acquisition. Like I have a good base. I have acquired some customers that I don't know from anything.
Right.
But just to continue that, you want to build and build because as big as I get, then I can help somebody else out.
Right. Now I even seen that you had a lot of like celebrities, even wearing it. Name some of the people if you want. Celebrities that wore Pure Blend.
From the start, like a lot of again leaning on, all this is connected.
Right.
So in the beginning, I'm gonna say from the first couple guys was Deshaun Jackson. That's when he was with the Eagles.
Okay.
That's at the same time Shady McCoy was with the Eagles. I had some pictures with I think Lance Gross. That was early in the game.
Okay.
Connection at Howard University.
Right.
A couple.
I seen a few like some NBA too. I think I forget who.
Yeah, moving up now, speeding up.
Right.
Tyrese Maxey. Young guy from the Sixers.
Yeah.
Second year, doing real good. So that was an organic relationship. It was forged from just some mutual acquaintances, and he really likes it. So that's kind of like you start from knowing you're doing right because those guys they can touch and feel anything they pretty much they want to.
Yep.
And the words come back like, yo, he like your stuff, he like everything that So I communicate with his people and furnish him what he need.
How's your journey been through the business side of it? Because it's one thing to love the passion of creating clothes and creating styles and things like that, which you obviously have a passion to do, but it's another thing to be able to learn how to market it, learn how to create a website to expand to different audiences outside of Pleasantville, to be able to get it in to sizes of these athletes. You know what I mean? Little things that people don't realize and understand, the business side of it.
Yeah.
How was the journey through the business side?
That's rough, you know, and you artists, that's your passion. So the business side, sometimes you gotta. That's where the studying comes in. That's when being the continual education. That's when leaning on people that might have more knowledge in a certain thing. And I don't have a problem with leaning on people and asking questions or subcontracting things like that. It's always it's ever evolving. It's not going to be done. What I'm doing now is nothing what I was doing in 2011. It's nowhere near that.
Yeah,
you know? So I'm constantly evolving also.
So what's your next, your step in business? Like, where do you see yourself? Where do you see the brand going in the next 5 to 10 years?
I've been thinking about and weighing. I really, at some point, want a boutique.
Okay. Yeah.
So I still think I want to keep it. I want to get larger. Sending out, different states and continue in more volume. But I always want to keep it boutique-ish because I always want to be, because we come up, I come up from that era where we didn't all stand in line and get the same joys.
Right.
So you went to the store with your boy. In my era, we went to the store. He grabbed the red ones. You guys grabbed the blue ones. So we wanted to be unique.
Yes, sir.
Individuals and things like that. So I always want to keep it boutique-ish and on a certain level. But that's one of my visions, a small boutique, brick and mortar.
That's what's up.
So what's the next level of apparel?
This year I went into developed a leather, and again, going back to my youth again, a leather bomber.
Okay.
I combined the Goose bomber. That's an '80s jacket. It's an '80s jacket. So I think that was a level up. Been really weighing on. I've been doing kids stuff, but I'm really thinking about just doing a whole kids line.
Okay.
Whole kids. I've been doing pieces for kids. I'm thinking about doing a whole kids line, developing more is unisex, but doing more for the women. So those are things. That's expanding. So then one of my things is everybody blends. So everybody in the family blends. So it could be the kids, it could be the parents, it could be the wife or the husband.
Now you say you went to Howard, right?
HU.
Yeah. How did that? I see you got the New Balance too. That's more like a DC Maryland thing. You know what I'm saying? But to talk to us about your time there at Howard and how that helped develop you as a man.
Yeah, that was amazing because again, going to that university, just the history, the rich history, and then the people, the relationships that was forged from there. Like, I have these relationships to this day.
That's what's up.
I'm in right now, and I don't do too many group texts. People you at work, you know something all the chat. But I'm in a Howard. I got a Howard group text. These are my brothers from 1993, my freshman year of college, and we still tight. Our kids call each other uncle.
Okay.
Well, our kids call us each other.
I understand.
So that was cool. And then the people I met there and went and I touched, was as far as music, I seen everybody.
Okay.
Seen everybody. And I'm smoking this close.
Wow.
Everybody, there's anybody. I've been close, not relationships with them, but I've seen.
Right.
Biggie, Jay-Z, Run DMC, anybody that was anybody in the 90s, Foxy Brown, anybody in the 90s, the Locks, I've seen them up close and personal, Fugees, because Howard's known for breaking artists also. So they'll come up perform at homecoming. Everybody's performed there.
Yeah,
so you look at
true.
the history in that pocket. I was there from '93 to '98. I've seen everybody, close and personal, seen them perform. They walk in the yard. So it's a national university with a lot of flavor come out of there. A lot of our culture is forged at Howard. A lot of people, Diddy, walk around like it was nothing back then.
Right. Yeah.
Now you've been in the school system for I believe 2-3 decades now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to even throw that number on you. We've been out of school that long.
When you say that. So been since 1998. I started September 1998 in the school system. Yes.
How important is it, in your opinion, to see people that look like us, that walk like us, that talk like us in the school systems and on these fields of athletics for these young men and young women that look like us that's growing up? And as it's evolved, still, how important is it to see us?
It's very important. It's very important. And that's one of the reasons I think we spoke earlier about Coach Barnes and people that knew me from high school. That kind of I was feeling my way out when I graduated. I had an option to go up North Jersey and came back, was doing a summer camp. And they was like, "You're doing well. You want to coach and start teaching and things." Things worked out for it.
Right.
I think it was important then. It's important. I had a conversation with one of my former students today. He was coming in, works locally, was doing a presentation to the kids. Like, it's a spot here. We can.
That's what's up.
The spots are open because we need that.
Yeah,
We need our males and females to come back and be positive role models.
For sure. For sure. But yeah, man, we got BJ Burch in the building, owner of Pure Blend Apparel. Drop the website and where everybody can find the clothing, please, bro.
All right. The website is pureblenapparel.com. Instagram is @1pureblend. That's ONE Pure Blend. And everything's available there. You can see the newest styles on the Instagram. That's one thing you can follow. But the website is a fully functioning website, except all methods of payment. Again, that's pureblenapparel.com.
Now that I've become a real fan of last month or so and really see what you got going on, because I've been very ignorant to it and naive to how fly your clothing and your style really is. To put on the polo or to put on the Nike or to put on these different apparels, and you look at price point differences and you look at styles and you look at the flavor, and it being no different. In fact, yours is even better, and then the prices are better. There's no reason why we can't support each other as not even black people, but people who appreciate independence and appreciate the ground root level. So, sir, we honor you, man. BJ Burch on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Keep grinding, keep shining, and you definitely got a fan in me, brother.
I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all reaching out, doing this, and y'all got some samples, so you really gonna feel it.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, sir.
For sure. Make sure y'all go to pureblenapparel.com. The link will be in the description box. Go get yourself some gear, man. We appreciate it.
Indeed. We got BJ Burch on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. That's your man. Oh God, Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm saying, man, viral hip hop news together with Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Over and out.